What's up, Cinephiles?
For today's episode, we are going to review this generation's Charlie's Angels, directed and co-written by Elizabeth Banks.
Okay, so this generation's version of the Charlie's Angels stars Ella Balinska, Naomi Scott, and Kristen Stewart.
In a way, this Charlie's Angels retelling is similar to Men in Black International, where the organization has now gone global and there are different sectors internationally. I like that the film respects the continuity of the previous films. The previous characters played by Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and Drew Barrymore are all mentioned in this film. And now this film has able to gather a new troupe of Charlie's Angels. Now, marketing-wise, I actually have low expectations for this film because as I've seen in the trailers, it's just full of glamour and I just miss the quirky spirit of this film. But having seen this film, I'm actually surprised that there's actually more fun and more quirk to it. They tried, but will it actually work on us? So what are your thoughts about this film?
This movie is a pleasant surprise for me because seeing the trailers, I thought that this movie will be kind of garbage, to be honest. But I really enjoyed this movie, and maybe it's because what you said, they maintain that quirkiness, that campiness. There's so much silly stuff happening here. Is it a great film? No. But if you want to be entertained, go to the theater and see this because there's tons of laughs that you will get from this movie. First off, I want to mention my favorite character here is Kristen Stewart. She is really funny in this movie. I really don't see much of her films. I only really watched her during her Twilight days, and we all know how that turned out.
She's getting berated for her expressionless face.
Yeah,
and in here, she got to play with a lot of quirk. So it's nice to see a different side to her.
Yeah, she's easily the funniest one out of the three of them. Naomi Scott is great in this movie.
Yeah, we all know her charm. We've seen her in Power Rangers, then Aladdin. So it helps that there's a character that we can gravitate ourselves into.
And how about Ella Balinska? This is the first movie that I've ever seen her in, and out of the three of them, she probably had the most characterization in this movie, and she's really great, and she's my new crush. To be honest, she's really beautiful, man.
She is, and it's surprising she's the tallest one. I didn't realize how tall
she's so tall.
Back to my expectations. Usually when a trailer drops and it shows a lot of the action stunts happening, that is already an indicator for me that this movie is going to suck. Because the movie is trying to show everything. There's much surprise left. But as I've said, there's much work to this film that what the trailer suggests. 50-50 is my laugh to ratio for this. I think some of the lines or the screenplay are not so funny or not so thought through. And when it comes to the action sequences, there are some word-keeping shots here. But for a visual director, I think Elizabeth Banks can do more improvement because I just noticed that there are a lot of close-up shots here.
Yeah, I want to talk about the action sequences. In this day and age, we see movies like John Wick, Atomic Blonde, those kinds of movies where the action scenes are very fluid. There's not much cuts in between. And you can see in this movie that Elizabeth Banks really isn't that much of an action director yet. She's relatively new to directing, right?
I think this is her first action film. She did direct Pitch Perfect.
Okay. So you see her utilizing a ton of those cuts in between action sequences where there's fighting scenes. She's gonna keep cutting the frame so that she can portray that stuff is happening. That's a really cheap trick for me in action. I don't really like that. But there are some scenes where she also doesn't use it, and to her credit, the action being shown on screen looks relatively good.
I can say that there's an action sequence here that truly made a mark to my heart because in every action film, I think the only way that a film is able to make a solid mark if there's a sequence that you're gonna remember. Like for example, in Fast and Furious films. Not that I'm really comparing that franchise to this franchise because that one is on a whole new other level. But I guess some of them comes across as generic, the car chase scenes, and yeah, I mean, the really best thing that this film has working for is the cast. And yeah, those three, it's perfect casting. They really embodied their roles, and despite the lapses in the script and the lack of effective humor, for my part, yeah.
I really like the term that you use, that the generic term, because overall this movie is, if you look at it, it's kind of generic. I mean, even the twist that happens towards the end, I saw it from a mile away. You know what's gonna happen in this movie. You're not really gonna be surprised.
Yes, I'm going to agree when it comes to espionage films. It's very common to have those double crossing and twists. However, those twists left me confused, but in a greater sense, I didn't really care much who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. I was just in for the ride of watching this girls go kick ass. And of course, when it comes to Charlie's Angels, there's a feminist message involved, and it's not the most subtle delivery when it comes
not really, it's in your face feminist.
The biggest weight of this film has to be on the casting, and the film nailed on that part. But when it comes to truly rejuvenating the franchise, I don't think so. But again, it's something that you didn't want, but it was given, so it doesn't feel bad that you're about to watch it.
I hope it makes a lot at the box office, because I want to see these three actresses kick ass together again. So in conclusion, do we conclude?
Okay, so in conclusion, Charlie's Angels brings the style and the quirk. If you want to see girls kicking ass in putting on stylish clothes, go ahead and see this film. Actually, this film made me want to rewatch the original immediately. But when it comes to the quirk territory, I think I just want it more to be campy, because that's the foundation that the 2000 film has already shown. Okay, so I'm gonna give this film a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not great, but I can sit this through. And it's entertaining, it's fast-paced, and not a bad film.
I agree with everything you said. This movie, it's a pleasant surprise for me. I like all these three actresses on screen. Kristen Stewart is still my favorite part because she is so damn funny. I'm also giving this movie 3.5 out of 5 stars.
So that's it for our review of Charlie's Angels. If you like this video, you gotta hit like and subscribe.
Also, click that notification bell so you can be up to date with our latest videos. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.